I say good evening. Yeah, it's nice to be here and happy to see everyone. At least the number of people is not as low as he mentioned we had in December. So we have more numbers today. Yeah, good to see everyone. So I will be talking about, I think, reliability. And my name is Omokahfe Ojagun, a Nigerian. Yeah, but to save the stress, I just tell people my name is Omo. Save yourself the other parts. Just I can keep it to myself. Call me Omo, I would answer you. And it's been nice. And yes, I am a reliability engineer. Work with ABN, one of the businesses, internet banking, and the payment services. Well, over the months, it's not so bad with working with the team. So many challenges, and right now it's more roller coaster, up, down, up, down, up, down. Well, that's the current state of things. But taking it back a bit, back from Nigeria, I was an instructor instructing HTML, CSS, JavaScript, Oracle, Microsoft SQL. I was doing almost anything I could lay my hands on. Not because I loved to do all these things, but the nature of my work demands it. We have people that want to be trained, and my boss just tell me, this is the material, go read it, train them. And that's also helped me in learning a couple of things and knowing how so many things work. And after a while, moved into the development world, C#, ASP.NET. I enjoyed it, but got bored because the project, I got used to it. I know what I need to do anytime there is an issue. Like, we need to fix this, we need to add this module, oh, I know where to go. Like, no, I'm tired. So I moved to DevOps, and it's been interesting since then. And now I'm in the SRE domain. I hope I remain here for a while. I don't know where I'm going to go next, depending on the challenge I see in the future. So today, we are looking at think reliability from software development to post-deployment. I've been in this phase, and I understand what it involves. And most times, people think reliability is just the development guy, the developers are done with coding and every other thing. And the infrastructure guys are like, okay, this is the infrastructure. You can develop, you can deploy anytime you want. We've deployed to test. The queue has tested. Yeah, it's fine. Deploy to staging or any other environment before the production. If deployed to production, it's live. SRE, yeah, have the button. Continue with the life of the project. We are done with our own part of things. And SRE was just like, I didn't develop this thing. Why am I the one managing it? Well, that's your job. The business needs to grow, and our system needs to be reliable. That's the concept of, let me not say all, but most people, that's the concept of the site reliability engineer. It's just the last man standing, hand it over to him, let him continue to make sure everything is fine. But someone coming to SRE might think, now that I'm an SRE person, or I'm a site reliability engineer, I have to be on calls, because that's one of the things they will tell you when you are coming on board. We have the call rotation, we have the rota, yes, you need to be on call for a week, so that when there is an issue, you need to attend to it. And you're like, well, am I going to sleep with one eye open now? Because that is what you think. Something would always go wrong. There is no perfect system. You can't, your system cannot be 100% reliable. Then when something goes wrong, you are just like these guys. Let's just, there is fire in the mountain. Like, let's just get rid of these things because the business needs to grow. That is what we always think. Well, relatively, that is what it looks like. Because sometimes you just see something goes bad, and the reliability engineer was like, I didn't develop this. The developer wrote this code. They should know that this thing is bad. They should know that this thing should not work. But the infrastructure guys, why don't they know that they need to have a queuing system when there is too much traffic, you just have things breaking. Like, everyone is always trying to like get things done on their own, and I'm done with my part, ship it to the next phase. It's over. But it's not like SRE guys also like what they are doing when it comes to fighting fires, having sleepless nights. Like, yes, this is what I'm paid to do. Like, yeah, something is broken, let's drink. Yeah, now we know that we are getting the work done. We are getting paid. If nothing is breaking, we are not going to get paid. That's why we are here. But this is not how our life is as reliability engineer. We don't always sit waiting for something to go wrong. That is not what we expect. Things should go right. Yeah, we might give you responses on what is the success rate of the application or the service, what is the availability of the service, is it up and running 100%, 99%, and all sorts. These are some of the things we look out for. But this is not our life. We are not waiting for something to go wrong. Then we enjoy that, yes, now we are working. But one of the responsibilities of the SRE guys is to ensure that the system is reliable. The reliability of the entire system, that is where the word SRE is coined from. We need to have a reliable system, but what is reliability to our clients? We build, we don't, yeah, let me use the word, we don't use, because if we are the one using it, then we are not going to be getting paid. But we have the clients which are our target audience. They use the systems, they use the services. What is the expectation of reliability? One of it is this service available? Can I wake up in the middle of the night and, like, I need to get this thing, can I just get it and just 503. What's this? No one is happy, you are not happy. Or you are at the club, you just taking a whole lot of drinks with your friends, and it's time to pay, and you're like, this is not working. What's going on? I can remember I think it was January, sometime in January, that ING had an issue and was down for the whole day. And everyone was like, what is going on? And so people were waiting for which bank is next. Is ABN fine? Is Rabobank fine? Is every other person fine? Like, oh, it's only ING. Oh, okay, ING, okay, we can use other service providers. So sometimes we think we are fine based on the developer, the infrastructure guys, but the truth is our target audience are the one who tell us if we are fine or not. So what is the availability of our service? Another thing they consider is the latency. How long do I need to click, send, the request is going, I have to wait for 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 4 minutes to get a response. Your clients will not be happy with that. After a while, you start losing clients because the latency is just nothing to write home about. What about the correctness of the information? Just like Danny mentioned, we have this data. Yes, we need to compare with what we have 6 months ago. The correctness, the freshness of the data, this also is very important to your target audience. And the information coverage, how much can I know based on what you have on your platform? Is this the work of the SRE guys? No, this is not the work of the SRE guys. Your data correctness, I'm not the one building the application for you. I'm not DBA. Why should I be concerned about data correctness? The availability, yes, I can think about the availability, but the truth is, I'm not the infrastructure guy. The latency, yes, I can see the monitoring dashboard and everything, but the truth is, I didn't build this thing. The latency is not my fault that is so bad, but we are done with our work. We'll give the baton to the SRE guys. Manage the sheets. Anything that comes up, you know. And the customer service guys are just calling. This client is complaining. They cannot make international transactions. Okay. But other guys can make transactions. we've gotten such responses from the teams. The customer service guy calls and like, this person from this country is having issue making transaction. Like, okay, is this just this country? Yes. Every other person is fine, then we can look at it later. Man, now is the SRE's problem. I can't do anything because the team who owns the application also said they can't do anything right now. So it's always this going to and fro, looking at what SRE is all about. And our clients don't care. They just need the service rendered. And if we can't give them what they want, they look at the next available vendor to get things done for them. This is one interesting image I love. Something is broken. There was an issue, like, I think 3 months ago, one of the services was rolled out, and within 1 hour, guys cannot log in anymore. What is going on? The caching policy was not set correctly, and they had to roll back after 1 hour. Like, what happened? You didn't know you need to set the caching policy or the cache policy? Like, well, it's one of those things. You can't run away from it. Shit happens here. And this is one of the things that happens, and who knows first? It's the SRE guys, because you just have the dashboard, you have the alerts and everything. The first point of contact from the customer service also is the SRE guys. You're on call or you're on duty. So these are some of the things which people see from outside, but in our own world, the question is, when something has gone wrong, we need to look at the root cause analysis. Some people call it post-mortem. Any choice of word you want to use, it's fine. But the truth is, no developer likes post-mortem. No one loves post-mortem. And if you are not in, let me say, a reliable system, post-mortem looks more like pointing fingers. You did not do this. I told you to check that. I thought it was fine. And everyone started pointing fingers and like, this is not nice. But we just have to have the post-mortem. Everyone needs to look at what has gone wrong, what could we do, what should we do, and how can we prevent things like this. And at the end of the day, we need to deploy to production again. Then the business start asking questions. Are you sure it will not break again? That's what they are going to ask. Are you sure you've checked and checked and checked? And you're like, it was just a mistake. Yes, it was just a mistake, but we were down and we had to roll back. So these are things that we don't really like. We don't really want to be in this position. So what do we need to do? At each phase of development, we need to think reliability. When the software developer is writing his or her code, he or she needs to think reliability. I should not have, in your word, a stored procedure that is going to lock everything within the database. Like, no, I should not do that. Yes, it's working now. Yes, because I was once a developer, I know there are some things you see. Yeah, it's working now, but when you see traffic, then you know that what you have is nonsense. Yes, you have 500,000, a million within a month. Yeah, we don't feel it. But when you see the volume you get in a month, you are getting it within a day, then you know that the code you've written is shit. Then someone starts telling you, we need to change this framework. No, we have to use Node. No, we should use this. But at the points where you are developing, don't just think about it now. How reliable will this system look in a matter of 3-4 years, in a matter of 2x the traffic we're getting now, in a matter of 4x the traffic we're getting now? These are some of the things we need to think about. So the entire development cycle is a chain, like we have here. So some issues are not noticed until after deployment. Yes, it's working. I tested it on my local machine. Okay. Clients are not going to come access this service on your local machine, man. Oh, yes, we tested on the dev environment. Yeah, the dev environment has so many loopholes that you might not know that this thing is not fine. Yeah, we did a load testing on staging. It's a mirror of production. Okay. But when you deploy to production, like that, roll back, roll back, roll back, because something is broken, something is not fine. There are some dependencies in which we need to take note of. There are some things we just need to have to watch as we develop. Not just limited to the developers, the QA also have a part to play. The business guys also have a part to play, because when we are done developing, the business guys need to vet, is this what you also are expecting? Don't tell us that, we trust what you've been doing. Like, let's just deploy. We'll be fine. And when we deploy, you see a downtime. Remember also one of my DevOps days, there is this, it's a financial servicing company in Nigeria, one of the biggest in Africa. There is this table when you want to deploy anything that is particular to this table, don't do it during the day. Always deploy in the middle of the night. So one person just came, it's not something big, it's just something small. It's not going to affect, let's just have it. And after deployment, the whole system was down for 20 minutes. Rollback was for 4 hours. As bad as it was, because so many things have been written on the table, and now we need to get rid of them. It was like 4 hours, and millions was lost. Millions was lost. Why? Because we feel, this thing should not, it can fly, let it go. But at the end of the day, we get to see that we are in deep shit. So there are some questions we need to ask ourselves, like what we have up here. When an architect wants to architect, what is he or she architecting? You gave some examples, using some things that are like, this thing should not work. Why do you come up with this idea? It happens. And these are some of the questions we need to ask ourselves at different phases. And which language should be used for development? Should we use Java? Almost everyone in the company understands Java. Let's use Java. The truth is, each service has its peculiarity. And we also need to check what framework, what language is good enough for this specific service. What are the dependencies you need to take note of when the service grows so much? Like many years back, it has always been one big, monstrous code we always have. And if a part is broken, entire service is down. But later we saw the need to go microservice. Okay, if this service is down, it does not affect this service. If this service is down, it does not affect this service. These are ways in which, over the years, yes, people have been thinking about reliability, although they didn't see it that way. But how do we make sure our entire service is reliable? We have a particular architecture where the volume of traffic now is not bad. We have the producers, we have the consumers. What the producer is producing is not even enough for the consumers to process. But it gets to a point where the producers are producing so much more than the consumer can consume. Then what do? Have a fail over process within the middle. You have your cache, you have your queuing process, just pass pass these things in, and the consumer sees, this is what I can consume at this moment. Take care of it. It might take a long time, but you know that your data is safe, everything within your system is fine, your clients also, they all are happy. These are just some of the things in which we need to look at as we develop our infrastructure. Like, I saw this online, and I was like, okay, this really looks nice. Most times we always have shared infrastructure within our systems. I don't need to have these separate, for this business separate, that infrastructure for this or that business separate because we are going to pay more. So let's have a single infrastructure where we can, let's look at the word of Kubernetes. You have this service is a cluster, this service is a cluster, this service is in a cluster, and every other service is in a cluster. Yes, that's possible, but as the architect architects these things, he or she needs to think about reliability, because at the end of the day, if something happens at one point, it might break everything, even when you have a shared infrastructure. The QA does his thing, the network guys does their stuff, the security guys, they are doing their stuff, but as each and every one of us get to do these things, we need to think about reliability, because it's not going to affect just the SRE team at the end of the day. It's going to rub off on everyone. The business also is going to feel it, not just the SRE guys. And because the developer is doing his work and thinking reliability as he or she does the work, the QA also is thinking of reliability as she or he does what he needs to do. Also, every other team. That does not mean our life is like this, like just chilling. Everybody's reliable, then I'm just having the best time of my life. Just get me paid and let me enjoy my life. No, that is not what we look like, because everyone is thinking reliability. No, that is not, because we can't have a system 100% reliable. It's not possible. That is why we have the monitoring tools, we have the alerts, we have the dashboards, so that when something goes wrong, we know that something is wrong. And sometimes also, your system can be available 99.99%. But what is the success rate? When you look at the dashboard, oh, everything looks good, everything is green. But what is the success rate? These are some of the things we look at also. I start this process, I need to get to the end, but in the middle, something is just broken. Yes, my system didn't go down. I don't know what is wrong. So when we track some of these details, as little as we think it is, it affects the customer retention on our services. Because if we have 100 million people visiting us in a month, and 5 million customers are not satisfied, the bad thing about unsatisfied customers is that their microphone is louder than the satisfied customers, because you get bad reviews. And that is when the satisfied customer will start thinking, I think I had this issue sometime also. I think I had this. I think this other service is going to be better. Let me go this way. And we think we are available, but the truth is our customer is not fine, because the success rate is really, really bad, despite we being available. It affects the business at the end of the day also. So having downtime does not only affect the engineering team, it also affects the business. If the system is down, like ING when it was down, I can imagine the guys who are in the engineering team, the engineering managers, the team leads, everyone is just sitting, no going home today. Go get coffee, you have to fix this thing before we leave. Yes, it feels like an engineering issue, but it's also a business issue. Because everyone is like, is something wrong with ING? Is there a fraud going on within the system and somebody just brought it down? And the business guys need to come out to do their PR. There is no issue, we are fine. The engineering guy is not going to come face the media. It's none of his business. The business guys needs to come face the media. So it's not a one-man show, it's not a one-team show. It's everybody's issue. And every minute of downtime, depending on the priority and the impact, there's a financial implication. I've seen a document where within ABN that shows that, okay, if we are down for 5 minutes for this level of availability, for the availability one application, this is the cost that is incurred. So for every system, these things are there. And that is why we always look at things like the SLA, the SLO, and the SLI. We have an agreement with our clients. We will be 100% available. And when we are not 100% available, then this is what we are going to give to you. Like services like, or service providers like GCP, AWS, Azure, they tell you if we fail with our SLA, we give you this volume of credit, just to make sure they retain the customer. So the business gives its SLA, which is the agreement they make with the client, but the team also needs to make or to have their own SLO. For us to meet these our targets, which is the agreement, we need to have our own objectives. How do we make sure we don't hit this threshold? And not to hit the threshold also, we have indicators which we need to use to measure that we are meeting this agreement. So that someone don't come tomorrow and just tell us, I'm going to sue you. And why are you suing us? I don't know. I just feel your service is shit. Okay, these are the indicators. What did you see? How do you want to tell us that our service is not reliable? Because these are the different metrics we have. And also we have the error budget. The error budget is just a window given for any development to test. We don't know if this thing is going to work, but let's see if it's going to work. So the error budget is more like a window where you can try things and see if these things would work as you expect it. So for business to grow, for engineering teams to have sanity and not focus on, and focus more on development than fixing bugs because something is always wrong. And for the business also to be happy because our clients are happy, we all need to think reliability. And thinking reliability, we need to go back to ask our questions. The architect, what is he or she architecting? You need to think about the language. You need to think about the framework. There are so many other questions also we need to ask ourselves. But the major thing is, as we go from each of these phases, we don't just leave everything till after deployment, post-deployment, the SRE guys will manage it. It is what they are paid for. No, because when there is fire on the mountain, it affects everyone. So we need to continue to ask ourselves this question and make sure that we get to the level that we are all reliable. Thank you very much.